Hey, what's up everybody? Mike here. Today we're going to be working on part 6 of the arcade cabinet build. If you've been following along, thanks for coming back. If you're finding this for the first time, maybe consider going back to the first video and see where we've gotten so far. So I think today we're just going to go ahead and jump right in, pick up where we left off. We're going to do a little bit of sanding, a little bit of patching up a few little spots here and there. And we're going to get primer on and hopefully first layer of paint. All right, let's get into it. All right, first thing we're going to do, we're going to get this drawer pulled back out so we can glue the shelf down. We didn't glue that down the last time, but this handle came out pretty good. If you remember how I had to re-glue this down because it split, handle actually turned out pretty nice. You can get a good look at that. Not too bad. Sturdy. So the shelf here, we're just going to slide this out real quick, put a little glue on it, nail it down. That was the shelf we built for the coin box in the last video. Grab a little glue and we'll nail this down. All right, that's in place. All right, now that we got that in place, I'm gonna go ahead, go around the cabinet a little bit and do a little bit of the bondo, patching up a few little spots here and there where the wood just didn't line up perfectly. Like there's a little gap right here. Just gonna fill in a couple little spots like that around the cabinet. So let's get the bondo. Now, this stuff, pretty easy to work with. You just got to work with it pretty quick because it dries pretty fast. So if you're not familiar with it, we're just using all-purpose putty, bondo all-purpose putty. So we're going to take about a golf ball size of the putty and about a pea size of the hardener stuff. So this by itself isn't going to, get dry and hard to do anything until you put the hardener in. So the more of this you put in, the faster it's going to dry. So like I said, about a pea size to a golf ball size of the putty. And I'm going to mix up just a small batch because I don't got much to do. And you got to work pretty quick with it. So we'll go ahead and mix this up and start putting it in. Just got to mix it on a paper plate. You can mix it in this lid that it comes with, but I don't know, it's just a paint. So just mix it up on a paper plate and then we'll throw it away. All right, that should be plenty. All right, let's just start mixing this together. Now you don't need to use a lot of this. A little bit goes a long way. You want to kind of build it up in layers. That should be good for that crack. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the back. I got a couple spots back there. Actually, there's one right here too. All right. All right, that should take care of the back. I'm gonna bring the camera around here and show you what we got. So we put it on right here through that groove. There was a tiny little gap. And also right up along that side. So it looks a little rough right now, but it's actually a pretty thin layer. And all we got to do is give that a light sanding and we should be fine. And there's a couple other little spots right there in the corner where there's a couple nails there and just a couple nails there, and same thing on the other side. And that should be about it. So same thing here. We filled in these 2 little spots in the front. As soon as that dries, we'll give it a light sand, and we should be perfect right there in these little gaps. And so next, once we sand all this, I'm going to cut the T-molding groove, and we'll give the whole thing a light sand at the same time. And then we're ready for primer. All right, pretty much got all the sanding done. Sanded down the back and a couple little spots on the side. So let me bring the camera around here and show you how it all looks once we got it sanded. Looks pretty good. So there's those 2 pieces we got in the front. And a couple little spots on the side. Same thing on the other side, a couple little nail holes. And this was the back where we did the most. Little tiny gap in there, which is pretty much gone now. Just a little bit all the way around that seam. And it looks pretty good. All right, so we should be done with the bondo and that sanding step. So next we're gonna move on to the T-molding groove. So I'm gonna get this thing outside, lay it on my makeshift table, and cut the groove for the T-molding. Then we'll go ahead and do the light sand on the whole thing, and we'll put primer on. All right, we got this thing out here. Put on my safety glasses, and I've already got this tweaked pretty much about as dead center as I can get it. Practiced on a piece of scrap wood for a little bit, and got it pretty much dead on. So I'm going to start on the bottom just in case, and then I'm going to do a test fit with the T-molding again on the actual cabinet to make sure it looks good, and then we'll run it around. So let's go ahead and start that. All right, so note to self, don't do this up in the air like this, because the dust just flies right at your face. Good thing I had the glasses on. And I forgot to do a test fit at the bottom and ran it halfway around. But hey, it fits perfect. I'll swing this around in a minute, bring the camera over so you can take a look. But it looks perfect. All right, let's keep going around. Yeah, so this is the T-molding we're using, this green color. It looks pretty good. It's like a lime green or neon green, I forget what it's called. Pretty cool. Looks perfect. All right, flip it over and do the other side. All right, we got her flipped over. Let's do it one more time. Perfect. Whew. Pretty dusty. Should have worn a mask. I say that every time. This MDF is really nasty stuff. You shouldn't be wearing a mask. All right, since we got it on its side right now up on the tail, I'm gonna go ahead and put the legs on. That'd be a good time for that. So I just got these legs right here we're gonna put on. Out of the way. Spin this around so you can see what's going on. So I'm gonna use here we go. Just gonna go ahead and use this square kind of like as a little template to get it in the right spot where I want them to be. So pretty much, let's see where are the supports at. I got to make sure I don't hit the supports because I'm going to drill through and put bolts to bolt it down, because I didn't think screws would hold. I mean, they'd hold, but they might not be too durable sliding it around. So I'd rather put a bolt, drill a hole, put a bolt through it. Probably work out a lot better. So is that. Yeah, that'll give me just enough clearance. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this as a template. And we'll mark the holes. Get a pencil. It's starting to thunder out there. It's getting ready to rain. And that's good. But see what I'm saying? This is a perfect way to get this right where we want it. So I'll just keep going around and we'll do the last one. Make sure we put it in the right spot. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drill those real quick, and we'll mount these and then we'll stand her back up. And it's getting ready to pour, so I think we're gonna maybe call it for the day and paint first thing tomorrow morning. So we'll see. All right, 16 holes and we'll be done. All right, and I just got to mark the center hole for the bolt to go through, the leg actually. We'll get that marked and drill that hole. All right, we'll drill those 4 holes next. All right, let's go ahead and get these on real quick. Where are all the nuts and screws, and it's getting ready to pour. All right, last one. All right, that does it for the legs. So I think we're gonna call it a day. It's getting ready to pour. Last thing I want is this thing to get wet and turn into a big pile of cardboard. So we'll move it back in the garage and take a break. First thing tomorrow, I'll sand it and we'll put the paint on tomorrow. All right, I figured we'd just go ahead and end the video here today. We got a good amount done. Got the bondo done, a little bit of sanding, T-molding groove is cut, the leg levelers are on it. So it's a pretty good amount done today. A little bit less than I wanted, but you know, the trend on this project seems to be about a little bit short of what I wanted every day. But I'm still pretty happy with the result. It's coming out pretty good. So next video will be the primer and the paint, and we'll get it upstairs up here in the game room and start putting all the guts on the inside. So hey, thanks for coming back and watching part 6 of this video. Go ahead and leave a comment. I'd like to hear what you think about the project so far. You know, give me a like. Let me know what you think. Thanks. See you next time. Bye.